Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we're going to be checking out the Masters of the Universe Origins Eternian Palace Guard, the Royal Defender. That is right, my friend. So this was a pretty exciting announcement that came out earlier this year. This was an online shop exclusive. I ordered mine specifically from Big Bad Toy Store, and they finally started shipping just recently here. This is a really cool deluxe figure set. So as you can see, comes in the deluxe style boxes, which is absolutely plastered in beautiful artwork. But this gives us one Eternian Palace Guard, as well as some extra parts. It's totally meant to be an army builder kind of set, so it's going to be really fun to open this up and really get in there and take a look at it. But we cannot ignore the absolutely beautiful box. So first of all, I'm a huge fan of these window boxes. Really great homage to the vintage toy line. But we've got this amazing artwork up here at the top of the Palace Guards and Man-at-Arms, you'll notice, without the mustache. So classic toy line style Man-at-Arms. And they are protecting the palace against those skeleton warriors again, the same ones that we saw on the Castle Grayskull box art. Man, those really need to be toys. Those are so very cool. And as we rotate this around to the backside, once again, you can see the Palace Guards up there defending Marlena and Randor. It looks like the mini comic versions because they've got the white hair there. Look, Man-at-Arms has been frozen in this image, and we got Tila there. It is really cool stuff. And then down below that, of course, we've got the cross cell showing other figures available in the line, as well as showing you how you can replace the parts and the weapons on there for mixing and matching fun. You can even create the original toy line version of Man-at-Arms. Yeah, the real Man-at-Arms. Oh, I just went there. All right, let's go ahead and get this box opened up, and we will get a closer look at the figure. All right, so we've got our Eternian Palace Guard outside of the packaging. As always, I do like to bring the tape measure in just to show you that these figures stand right at 5.5 inches. So they fit right in with your vintage Masters of the Universe action figures, and of course the rest of the Origins lineup here. Now basically what we've got going on here is a bunch of reused parts from Man-at-Arms, but we've got some new additions here as well, which makes total sense for something like this. For example, Man-at-Arms gave us these exact same armor pieces on his left arm and his left leg, but we now have these armor pieces on the right arm and the right leg, and you can see that they are mirrored pieces. They didn't just reuse the same leg guard, because you can see it is flipped with the strap comes over on the other side there. Same with the right arm armor pieces here. Now these are separated. They separated the armor in the arm to allow you to still be able to bend the elbow and swivel the elbow. So it's just like with Man-at-Arms before him, but I will say he poses a lot of the same issues with Man-at-Arms in that the armor is a bit loose and a bit wobbly, and it's easy to knock it off when you're posing it around. Now, usually if you're just going to put him in a pose on the shelf, you can usually get the armor to stay where you want it to, and it's not that big a deal. But you are going to notice that while you're posing this around, it's very easy to pull the armor off, especially these forearm pieces right here. They have a tendency to get kind of loose and just fall right over those wrist guards there. Same can be said, I guess, for the shin guards, but really it's not that bad. Otherwise, the body looks very similar to Man-at-Arms. It's got the same green sort of bodysuit, which is basically just the standard buck painted green or molded in green plastic. The belt is blue like Man-at-Arms. However, we do have a red dot painted on the belt, which differentiates them a little bit. And then we do have this new armor piece where instead of having like the face shield or the face guard for Man-at-Arms, we do have sort of like this bird emblem on the chest there. This is very reminiscent of what we got in the Masters of the Universe Classics line, though this is a brand new armor piece that fastens just like the vintage style ones. So this is actually really nice, and it's kind of cool to get this in a vintage style. So really need to kind of get all of these Eternian Palace Guard armor bits in that vintage action figure styling. I think that is really cool. And then, of course, the head there, you can see, has a face shield that covers the face. Basically, it's just the whole idea is to make these nondescript guards. I bought 2 of them because, of course, I did. So I can have multiples. This is an army builder after all. But as you can see, it just kind of gives them these very nondescript faces there. Now, what I will say is that he does come with an interchangeable head where it's got that mouth guard removed. And this right here, my friends, is the classic Man-at-Arms face. Now, I, first of all, want to point out, I think it's hilarious that you can see under this mouth guard here that it is the same Man-at-Arms face. Look at that. This is not meant to be removed, but it's easy to kind of bend it down, and you can see it's the exact same face sculpt underneath, so I thought that was hilarious. Basically, we just have Man-at-Arms cosplaying as palace guards, I guess. But I think also, I suppose, like if Mustache Man-at-Arms is your Man-at-Arms, you could also just use these as palace guards with their face masks off. So you should be able to swap heads. This one is extra hard to get. There we go. Really hard to get it on the peg there. But yeah, that's what he looks like there when we've swapped the heads. So, you know, you've got the mouth guard removed. It just shows the Man-at-Arms face sculpt. It is very similar to the vintage Man-at-Arms face, which is really, really neat. Now, of course, the other thing you could do with this is basically make a more vintage, accurate Man-at-Arms. Because among the accessories, he does come with the Man-at-Arms armor and the Man-at-Arms club. So if you wanted to, you can easily just remove the armor bits from the right side of them, or leave them if you're one of those people who always wished Man-at-Arms had armor on both sides of his body. You could swap off the chest armor, you can put on the Man-at-Arms armor, you can give him the club, and you can give him that head, or if you want, you can just bring in your first release Origins Man-at-Arms, and you can just swap out that mustache head, and you can give him the real Man-at-Arms head. Oh yeah. Okay, so I love that we got this version of the Man-at-Arms head in the Origins line now. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of the original Masters of the Universe toy line, so getting a nod like this is really cool. But there's one thing I want to point out that I noticed right away, and it kind of bugs me, and that is that you can see that they gave the Palace Guards different helmets than the standard Man-at-Arms helmet, which is cool, except this Man-at-Arms head is reusing that less detailed Palace Guard helmet instead of the actual Man-at-Arms helmet. So it doesn't have these extra pieces coming down in the front or up in the back there, meaning that while we now have an accurate face to the vintage figure, the helmet is now inaccurate. And I think they must have done that for two reasons. One, it's cost saving, right? It was way easier just to reuse this exact same mold and just glue on a face shield on the masked version. That's obviously the biggest reason. But I think the second reason is that for anybody that doesn't want to use this as Man-at-Arms head, it just gives you the option to have an unmasked Eternian Palace Guard. But I don't know. I don't like that. I really wish that they gave us the Man-at-Arms armor and the club. They should have went all the way and actually gave us the correct helmet as well. So I'm a bit bummed out by that. All right. Otherwise, articulation functions exactly as you would expect with all the same removable pieces. So you can pop the shoulders out, elbows swivel, they bend. You can swivel the wrist. You can hinge the wrist. You can pull the hands out of sockets. You can remove the torso. You can swivel at the waist. Legs go outwards, forwards, backwards, bend at the knees, swivel at the knees, swivel at the boot cut. Of course, that's going to roll your shin guard armor around quite a bit, of course, and then the ankles can go forwards, backwards, as well as rock side to side. It's exactly the same as all your basic figures in the Origins line. And to arm up your Palace Guards, these guys do include the silver version of the Gray Skull Halberd, or Scareglows as well, but it's a silver version. And then we also get a silver version of the Gray Skull Shield. But as always, these are complicated. You can kind of get the flat hand through the shield there. It holds it pretty good. It's not too bad, but every now and then it's pretty easy to pop those out as well. So that's how you can arm up your Palace Guards for battle. All right, guys, it's comparison time. I talked about these briefly, but they did do a version of the Palace Guards in the Masters of the Universe Classics line, so we're going to stand these new versions alongside those. One of the things that was really cool about the Classics version was the diversity. They gave us lots of different heads that were like many different Eternian races. So like there was like a snake guard and all kinds of crazy stuff. I thought that was kind of neat having the variety. If you're going to have like a full army built out, it's kind of cool having the different heads. Whereas the Origins one just all shares the exact same head. And again, I know it's like a cost thing most likely, but I don't know, if we're going to get more army builders, it would be kind of cool to see some different heads thrown in there as well. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And there you go, my friends. There is a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins Palace Guards. All in all, I think these are pretty good. Some of the same flaws that I had with Man-at-Arms with the armor falling off. I wish they would have just went that extra mile with that vintage Man-at-Arms head. But otherwise, these are nice. I mean, you get some cool extra pieces. It's easy to, army build with these guys if you want to do so. We got Horde Troopers hitting now too, or getting ready to come out soon, so we can have actually some armies doing battle with each other, which is kind of nice. So this particular set was supposedly an online exclusive. I got mine from Big Bad Toy Store. That's where I pre-ordered mine from. I believe Entertainment Earth also had them. But early on, people started finding these, I think, at places like Big Lots and Ollie's. I don't know what happened there. But as far as I know, these were supposed to be the online specialty shop exclusives. And I believe they're still available now. So happy hunting, my friends.